Welcome everybody to my third of hopefully many Degenesis lore drop videos. First of all, big shoutouts again to all the commenters and subscribers and to all the people who messaged me about my questions. Your contributions are really valuable and will be used in future videos, so thank you very much. Before we begin with today's video, I have to say that when I started this video about the Marauders, I didn't quite know what I signed up for. It's a pretty big challenge, and since I don't want to make like 1 hour long videos, and I want to keep the videos as beginner friendly and coherent as possible, there probably will be repetitions here and there, and probably there will be more videos about specific topics and characters, but shorter ones. Meaning that this video today will be about the Marauders in general, followed up by videos focusing on the most important Marauders one at a time. Now, I hope you enjoy this new video. Like, comment, and subscribe for more. The Marauders. The Marauders are legendary and mythical figures in the world of Degenesis. God-like entities, drifting through civilization for centuries after the Eschaton. Some people believe them to be gods, like Mother Sun and Brother Moon, to be appeased with animal sacrifices. It is said that bygone artifacts come alive in their hands, that machines talk to them, and that impossible doorways into the depth of mountains swing open before them. They are, however, unpredictable. To some, they reveal ancient knowledge, while others suffer their endless wrath. The chroniclers have been tracking the Marauders ever since the cult's inception. Their streamers traverse the land, questioning natives and listening intently to old campfire stories about gods from the shadows of time. The details of every sighting are new pieces in the puzzle of their digital nexus, the cluster. Centuries ago, the Marauders became the stuff of myths and legends as savage warriors. It is said that there are no more than a handful of them, and they are known to hunt sleepers, the agents of Project Tannhäuser, who rose from the dispensers. Allegedly, the Marauders are clad in pus-covered bandages, as if these were the last things holding them together. With a simple gesture, they vaporize their enemies and depopulate whole villages on their erratic wanderings. The Marauders keep crossing the paths of certain families and factions. Clanners tell of moonless nights where death incarnate lurks in the shadows of the huts and whispers messages over the windowsills. Those who listen will be led into forgotten storages and labs, able to salvage books, weapons, or embryos encased in resin. They'll see drawings of arbors and zodiac signs, walk through rows of rotting plants, and stare through glass into dark operating theaters. Even though people have benefited from their pacts with the Marauders, these alliances are never safe. Marauders are solitary hunters. They do not belong to this time, and they do not belong to this world, and so are unable to form any relationships with humans of today. They react angrily to any disruption or resistance. They are volatile. A single loud word can inflame their anger and lead to the destruction of an entire village. In the world of Degenesis, the Marauders are known to most as terror and chaos. handful of Marauders is known by name, and some of them are connected to certain areas of the world of Degenesis, where they have created reigns of terror or shaped the landscapes and cultures. There's Argyre the Vulture, the ruler of Britain, whose brainwashed slave warriors, the Pictons, roam through the British wasteland, ready to destroy anyone who does not pledge allegiance to the rotten god Argyre. There is Aspera, the one-legged, a marauder who has been in contact with the Chronicler cult and provided them with valuable information. There is Gusev, who is connected to the city of Noret, where the machine men, the Amsumos, wander through the ruins, ready to attack anything that comes close to them. Only Gusev is allowed to pass through. There is Chernobog, the Black God, who for years has been worshipped by clans of northern and eastern Borca. In the year 2593, he assembled the forest clans and led them south towards Praha to tear down the city. There is Triglaw, also known as the Three-Faced One, or the Horse Oracle. He is worshipped in Poland and the icy regions of northern Borca. There are also rumors of him being connected to the cult of Helvetics. Reports claim that he has been seen wandering through their alpine fortress. There is Arius, the Ram. He is strongly connected to the Jehammedan cult and led them towards victory against the Anabaptists in the Adriatic plain. Apart from these legendary marauders, there are supposed to be a dozen of other lesser-known ones. The Soul Burner is a weapon used by some of the Marauders. It shoots a beam that burns brighter than the sun, cutting through steel and concrete, vaporizing flesh and bones into a red mist. The Soul Burner is a myth. Every sighting of the weapon is passed from generation to generation, increasing its legend. There is little actual data available. So far, 3 Marauders have potentially been identified as carrying a Soul Burner. Chroniclers were able to identify one of them as Gusev from the reports, but the others are a mystery. It remains unclear whether several copies of the weapon exist or whether the Soul Burner is a one-of-a-kind weapon. According to Chronicler information, the Soul Burner is biometrically encoded. Only people with a certain genetic or nanotechnological imprint can activate and fire it. We know that the 6 legendary Marauders mentioned before were all members of the recombination group Sport before the Eschaton. Argyre, the Vulture, is Nathan Argyre, Britain's most acclaimed researcher in the field of coma treatment and brainwave manipulation, who also studied the field of memetics before the Eschaton. Aspera, the one-legged, is Christine Esperson, who was responsible for the construction of space orbiters that were sent into space before the Eschaton. Gusev is Nikolai Gusev. he was a researcher of nanite-supported stasis, or sleep. He was also a botanist, had a specialization in embryology and genetically adaptive grain. Chernobog is Viktor Karmanov, who was the head of investment and fundings of Project Tannhäuser. He is also the twin brother of Nikita Karmanov. Triglaw is Salim Mushar, visionary and futurologist who worked on nanites and cybernetics and declared the end of the information age in the year 2053. Arius is a reincarnation of the prophet Muhammad. It's complicated. More about him in another video. There is also Norman Thorne, the whistleblower about Project Tannhäuser, who disappeared in Cairo. He is also known as the Jackal. He is most certainly connected to the Anubian cult and may be seen as the cult's creator. The woman, known as Y, has explicitly been declared not to be a marauder by the developers of the game, but she also returned after the Eschaton as the mother of ravens. We know that the former RG board members have been betrayed by Recombination Group co-founder Jerome Gatrell. The betrayal is most probably connected to a series of corresponders invented by Nikita Karmanov, Viktor Karmanov's twin brother. The corresponders were implanted into the bodies of the 7 RG board members that became Marauders. We do not know all the functions of these corresponders, but some of them have been revealed. Nikita Karmanov's invention is mentioned in the second transmission of Muhammad, and it was supposed to be able to redirect refugee flows and manipulate people's behavior. The corresponder plays a large role in the story of Chernobog's attack, and most probably caused the Marauder to gather the clans surrounding him for an attack on Praha. The betrayal is also connected to the nanite blood of the Marauders. The Recombination Group invented the nanite as a cure for various diseases and injected it into the bloodstream of its former members. The nanite blood has healing powers, turning its carrier into an almost immortal being. We know that different forms of nanite blood exist, and that the nanites given to the RG board members who became Marauders, and that of the sleepers up to the 700th cascade, was intentionally flawed. At a certain point, the nanite blood of the Marauders would fail to provide its healing powers, so that the centuries-old Marauders would literally fall apart. The visible bandages on Gusev's and Argyre's bodies, as well as Aspera's missing leg, are the result of the nanite's decay. Only new nanite blood from sleepers is able to stop the Marauders' ever-impending deaths. From a conversation between Jerome Gatrell and Nikita Karmanov, we know that the corresponders have the power to override the bloodstreams of their carriers and turn them entropic. The Marauders would need Tannhäuser blood to alleviate the pains of the failing nanite blood. In their search for a cure, the Marauders would decimate the sleepers of Project Tannhäuser, thus contributing to the success of Gatrell's Plan B, Project Free Spirit. We do know that the Marauders are driven by revenge for Getrell's betrayal, and that they have influenced the world of Degenesis in various different ways. Some have conquered former countries, created entire clans, and heavily influenced and probably even created certain cults and factions of the world. If only someone would make a video about each of them, right? Alright everyone, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. There are some open questions I have, two mainly. First one is, do you know of any other Marauders except the ones that I've mentioned? The book mentions like a dozen of them, but maybe this is just an option given by the developers to DMs to create their own. The other concerns the nanite blood of the Marauders, which seems to have been screwed with twice. Once because it was intentionally flawed, as we know from the Numancer book, and second of all, by the corresponders, apparently. What's going on there? Is this just a failsafe? Or was it just the Tannhäuser sleeper blood that was flawed? Well, if you know the answers, please comment below and stay tuned for my next video about trick law. Have a great one.